That newsletter started catching steam and now has 5,000 subscribers, about 50% open rate.
Wow.
And continued that conversation into that spring season, where because of the newsletter and the podcast, we also launched this virtual summit, this AI summit, where like the other players in the space, I found this one coach that was like the guy that was coaching on AI, that was the speaker on AI. I'm like, dude, you got to be the guy on AI. Why don't you be the host of this virtual summit? We'll put this thing on. We picked out a couple of other softwares that we wanted to integrate with and be guilty by association with. Had like 700 people show up to this virtual summit. That was before the biggest conference of the year. At that point, the NARPM, the organization, realized that I'm a freaking content machine. And I offered them to make content about their educational system. And if they gave me like an extra room at the broker owner, that we could do that for them. So they gave me this extra room. I used that room to like do that, plus call it like the AI Alliance Pavilion. And I had this huge lightning strike where we drove $2.5 million worth of business in like 36 hours, because it was just overflowing with people. And we told this narrative of like, hey, AI is now a teammate that you can hire. And we had people testing the different agents and rating them, and 75% of them rated it an A player. Right. So like we had this like stat up on the screen. So that drove a giant narrative in the business of like, oh, this thing's ready for prime time, really filled our buckets. And then after that, I just continued the podcast until this next season. I needed a new trick, and it was this book. Right. So like continued the conversation.